of the flock. Now it's living the good life with meals of fish and chicken. Why, he even gets a regular bath. The family isn't sure if the stork will stay with them through the winter, although they do accept the fact that he may fly the coop next spring when the migration takes place. For now, they're just enjoying their unusual farm animal.
And finally, scientists aboard the American vessel Nautilus Live recently got a special treat. An octopus showed off its stuff, seemingly amid the deep sea currents. This happened in the Central Pacific Ocean off of Baker Island, halfway between Hawaii and Australia and almost a mile beneath the surface. The scientists described the octopus as huge as it billowed its arms like a circus tent. Another example of the beauty and majesty of nature.
And that's this week's edition of the News Hounds Now Update.
That is unbelievable.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Spectacular. Thanks for your help this week.
Of course, happy to do it.
Appreciate it very much. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
Right now, millions of people are marching to demand action on the climate crisis. We'll hear Madison activists demand to local energy companies.
A Madison Police Department investigation finds officers who responded to a teenager experiencing a mental health crisis used a reasonable amount of force.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with us. Protesters are heading home tonight, hoping their hours of rallying at the Capitol for a climate strike made a difference.
This is part of a movement happening across the country today, pushing for climate action. Here in Wisconsin, youth are leading the charge. Amanda Quintana is back from the rally with what they want to see done. Amanda?
The couple thousands of protesters that turned out want to see action fast. They're demanding Governor Evers declare a state of climate emergency, and they want MG&E to dismantle local coal-fired plants and transition to 100% clean energy by 2030, a goal the company set for 2050.
It's a pretty important topic. I mean, it's the fate of the entire planet is at stake here, and no one's doing anything, it feels like.
These high school students made the almost 2-hour trip from Viroqua to be here. A climate strike where our youth are taking the lead.
And we have to deal with what former generations have done to the earth, and we want to improve upon it and not destroy it more. And with people that are in office now, we need to see some kind of change.
Thousands are supporting them.
I wanted it to be what it will be versus what we could make it if we stop climate change.
Even the rally organizer says he's following their energy, spreading the message that climate change can't be denied.
We need an amazing, dramatic turnaround now by all of us. We need to change the way we live in every way.
They're demanding action now, marching to MG&E to say their timeline to get to 100% clean energy needs to be moved up. But the real goal, a better world for our children.
And one day I said to myself, what the heck am I doing leaving money for them in the will if the world's going to be a hellhole in 20 years?
Adam Shesh organizing a push from grandparents and elders, knowing they're the largest voting bloc.
It's the politicians, the political class who's way behind us.
While those on the front lines working, even in class, to find new ways to reverse the damage done.
It shouldn't be a political issue, it should just be a world issue, you know?
MG&E released a statement from their CEO today thanking everyone for bringing this important issue to light, saying, quote, "We need aggressive and crucial reductions to carbon emissions that align with the work of our best climate scientists. Our 2050 goal signals our direction, but it doesn't determine our pace."
Thank you, Amanda. The global climate strike comes before the United Nations Climate Summit in New York next week. A number of school districts, including those in the Big Apple, gave students permission to skip class today to participate, helping fuel a massive turnout. Similar strikes were held in more than 150 countries around the world. Activists say this is just the beginning. The strikes won't end until drastic action is taken.
Turning to weather, heavy rain and flooding chances over the weekend. Let's get a look at your first alert forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti on the weather patio. Gary?
It's very humid out here, Eric, and that could mean some heavy amounts of rain and some showers and thunderstorms. The short term, I think, will be okay, but it'll be mainly tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Let's start out by taking a look at visible cloud track. Things pretty quiet across Wisconsin right now. Not a lot in the way of precipitation over southern Wisconsin. A little thunderstorm just to the southeast of Janesville, moving up toward Walworth County. That's about it for right now. And I think over the next 24 hours, most of the shower and thunderstorm activity should be pretty limited. Still have Pecatonica River and the Kickapoo River above flood stage. Temperatures right now, lower 80s through much of southern Wisconsin. And look at those dew point temperatures, right around 70. So the air is just loaded with moisture. That could lead to some fog later on tonight. Slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm tonight into tomorrow morning, but a better chance for showers and storms by tomorrow afternoon. It'll be windy and not quite as warm with a high of 77. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
All right, thank you, Gary. Several Madison police officers will not be disciplined following an internal investigation looking into use of force. That investigation was launched in June after video that was posted on social media had some community members outraged.
And they say the video shows an excessive use of force on a teen who was going through a mental health crisis. Jamie Perez joins us now with what the police department and the mayor are saying about this investigation. Jamie?
This investigation actually found the officer's use of force to be, quote, objectionably reasonable. Now, this was the video that was posted back in June. According to police reports, the teen was having a mental health crisis that started at school. When he got home, the school resource officer told Journey Mental Health that he needed to be taken into custody. When officers arrived, police say the teen spit at them and resisted arrest. A Madison Police Department sergeant then came in and hit the teen in the head several times. Police say that the teen wasn't injured. Now, during the investigation, the sergeant was placed on restricted duty while interviews were conducted with the other officers. The teen here declined to be interviewed. UWPD also acted as a third-party review of the video. The investigation found 2 minor violations from the sergeant involved, but that the use of force was reasonable. Police Chief Mike Kofal said in response to this incident, Madison police officers involved in this will do some follow-up coaching on areas of how this could have gone better. They're also reviewing their internal use of force training and will be training on how to skillfully approach interactions with youth in the future. Now, because there was so much community interest in this story, Koval said that this investigation is being released on their website.
Jamie, thank you. The Sun Prairie Fire Department and EMS responded to a tree trunk explosion this afternoon. Authorities say it happened while a man was doing some yard work. He was transported to UW Hospital with some burns to his upper body. There was no active fire at the scene when crews arrived. The Sun Prairie Fire Department is investigating the scene to verify it was nothing more than an accident. Officials say that area is now safe.
President Trump is under scrutiny for his conversations with the president of Ukraine. A call between the two leaders is part of a whistleblower's complaint, which the Trump administration has rejected. The acting director of national intelligence is refusing to hand it over to Congress. House Democrats are looking into whether the president and his allies set up a quid pro quo demanding that Ukraine investigate a 2020 presidential rival in exchange for military aid.
That's being withheld from us, and the president's only response is to attack the whistleblower. We're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to find out what's in that whistleblower complaint.
The Washington Post first reported the complaint, which said the interaction between President Trump and a foreign leader included a promise that was so troubling it prompted a U.S. intelligence official to come forward. The Intelligence Community Inspector General who looked into the claim determined it met the definition of urgent concern. The president has announced new sanctions on Iran's central bank. The U.S. and Saudi officials blame Tehran for coordinated drone attacks in Saudi Arabia that knocked out 5% of the world's oil supplies. President Trump says his new financial sanctions are severe. The Pentagon presented military options at the White House this afternoon, and the U.S. Navy has positioned a destroyer near the coast of the kingdom to shore up Saudi air defenses.
At the state capitol, 3 lawmakers have introduced a bill to legalize medical marijuana in Wisconsin. Democratic Senator John Erpenbach and Republican Senator Patrick Testin, along with Democratic Representative Chris Taylor, introduced that bill today. Patients would be required to get a doctor's recommendation to use marijuana. The bill faces an uphill fight in the Republican-controlled legislature. If it did pass, state health officials would have to create a registry system, and agriculture officials would have to create a licensing system for growers, producers, and Sellers. The Lodi Police Department names a new chief after nearly half of the department's officers left earlier this year.
Gabriella Becerra shares how the new chief plans to bring change and make the department an attractive place to work. Gabby?
It's a problem that departments across the state are facing, how to bring officers in and how to keep them around. Smith says the problem comes down to having enough applicants that are qualified and willing to do the job. In this new position, Smith says he has a plan to make that happen. He says it's all about making the department an attractive place to work, which comes down to 4 qualities: good leadership, good training, competitive pay, and good equipment. And with that, officers will come and stay.
Not only the staff that we have here will stay, but it'll be an attractive place to work. It's already a great community, a good place to live, good place to send your children to school. So there's a lot of attractiveness to the city itself. So it's just making the department also attractive.
Says in this new position, he is also hoping to build better relationships with the community. Smith's plans to do that by creating a neighborhood watch group, adding a school resource officer, and promoting education to prevent problems in their city.
All right, Gabby, thank you.
Middleton's police chief getting a big thank you from Wisconsin lawmakers. Chief Charles Folk showed up at Hertz Donuts this morning. Instead of meeting with Representative Diane Hesselbein as planned, his closest coworkers and family were there to help him celebrate being nominated for the Hometown Hero Award. The State Assembly program recognizes people with an unconditional desire to lend a helping hand to those around them. Chief Folk says it's been a tough year for Middleton, from the historic flooding last summer to the Paradigm shooting that happened a year ago yesterday. He said the surprise was a great way to end his week.
It's quite an honor by the legislature, yet just walking in here and seeing my friends and colleagues, that was very touching. So thanks to everyone that was here.
And he'll be recognized in front of the Wisconsin Assembly next month.
Still ahead tonight at 5, a Janesville farmer is one of the benefactors of a music festival dedicated to keeping farm families on their land. We'll hear how Farm Aid will help him recover from a wet year.
And there's more local news ahead. A Mineral Point woman says the man who did a poor job with cement work at her home attacked her after she refused to pay. It's a story you will only see on News 3 Now at 6. And before the break, red numbers to finish the week on Wall Street. The Dow off almost 160 points. The NASDAQ down 65, and the S&P loses 15. We'll be right back.
Farm Aid is less than 24 hours away, but today people who came from all over the country got to learn about what the event is all about. Farmers.
Amy Reed shows us how a Janesville farmer got to help and how Farm Aid is paying him back. Amy?
Before the show started, groups of people in town toured family farms, including one in Janesville. This is Hugh's farm. They grow sunflowers, soybeans, and 2 types of corn. About 1/3 of their crops are organic, and they said that's helped them stay viable during variable weather and markets. Wilden Hughes shared some of his multi-generational farm story with this group today, but they're also part of Farm Aid in that the organization bought a large supply of some of their product to sell tomorrow. Hughes said Farm Aid always tries to buy local wherever they visit, and that means a lot to him.
I was happy that they cared, that they are finding some little guy like me and buying my product when they could have had anything. There's probably some national sponsor that would love to have their name on their trailer and handle their product every time they go to a place, but they don't do that. They're in there helping the little guy, and I'm the little guy. So yeah, we love it.
Another big thing farmers say Farm Aid does for them is it allows them a chance to talk about some of the issues they face. This year, it was a rough year for planting corn, and over the last few years, the dairy industry has faced hard times. That may only be worse with how wet weather could drive up feed prices. But getting people here and talking about these issues can help change consumer attitudes, and that's help that they're excited to have.
Amy, thank you. Fall doesn't officially begin until September 23rd, but for many in south central Wisconsin, it kicks off a few days early. Local pumpkin farms are getting ready to welcome families across our area this weekend. At Schuster's in Deerfield, visitors can get lost in an 8-acre corn maze, take a wagon ride to 14+ acres of pumpkins, and sample dozens of fresh barnyard treats. Owner Don Schuster says the wet, cold start to the year that Amy was just talking about killed about 20% of this year's pumpkin crop. But after 26 years in business, he knows that won't ruin this fall for him or your family's visit to his farm.
And Schuster's Farm got a shout out today for their role in Wisconsin's agricultural tourism industry. Governor Evers has named today Wisconsin Agriculture Tourism Day. From pumpkin patches to apple orchards and cranberry marshes, ag tourism families also provide education, entertainment, and food to consumers. Last year, Wisconsin tourism reached $21.6 billion and brought more than 100 million visitors to the state.
This provides an opportunity for economic development, and it provides opportunities for consumers to be able to better connect with agriculture and for farmers to better connect with consumers and tell the story of what's happening on our farms all over our state.
We have more information to plan your family's visit to local farms and pumpkin patches this fall. Just go to channel3000.com.
If you're going to the pumpkin patch or to the Badger game, let's get a check on the weekend forecast. Gary?
I think the Badger game hopefully will be okay. I think the better chances for rain will be after the game is over, but unfortunately for parts of our viewing area, any additional rain is going to be a problem. So we put an alert day in the forecast for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night when the next round of showers and thunderstorms will arrive. Some of those could have locally heavy rain of an inch or two. For areas that haven't seen a lot of rain, that's no problem. For areas of southwestern Wisconsin, a ½ inch of rain is too much, and that will cause some flooding, especially in those areas that have received heavy rain over recent days. Right now, one little lone thunderstorm popped up across parts of southern Rock County. That's kind of drifting off toward the east. Otherwise, the rest of southern Wisconsin and most of the upper Midwest, pretty quiet. Out to the west, some thunderstorms up in the North and South Dakota area will start moving eastward. We'll see that batch of showers and storms later tomorrow afternoon and more likely tomorrow night. The severe weather potential for tomorrow, there's a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms west of Madison. Gusty winds and hail the main threat, but doesn't appear to be a very high threat. The rain is of more concern. Let's take a look at what the computer models are showing. This is through late Monday night, early Tuesday morning, showing generally around about an inch through southern Wisconsin, according to the GFS computer model. Some localized amounts in excess of an inch or two in heavier showers and thunderstorms. European computer model showing the axis of heavier rain a little farther to the south. There are flash flood watches in effect for parts of northwestern Illinois and eastern Iowa just to our south, but to the north, the lesser amounts of rain would occur if that computer model turns out to be correct. So a little bit of variability there. And again, it's trying to find out exactly where those heavier thunderstorms are going to form. You really can't tell this far out, but again, the area that's of most concern is from southern Wisconsin down into northern Illinois, where we could see those 1 or 2 inch or even higher amounts in heavier thunderstorms, while other areas may only pick up a ½ inch of rain. The live view from the WISC Skycam showing some sunshine out there, but it is very humid. It's a sticky day there. The Edgewater Skycam downtown Madison also showing some sunshine, but again, it is a warm and humid day. Average high temperature is 70. Our high today, 82 degrees. The low 59. That's about 10 degrees above normal as well. And right now we're at 82 degrees with partly sunny skies. Winds are out of the south to 9 miles per hour. It's very seldom that you see a 70-degree dew point in the middle of September, but that's exactly what we have now. Some of that is just from the moisture that's around from all that rain that's fallen over the last couple of days. Temperatures range from the mid-70s in northeastern Wisconsin to the mid-80s across much of western Minnesota and western Iowa. And those dew point temperatures are in the upper 60s to low 70s all around here. So there's no escaping the humidity, at least for another day or two. Upper level winds continue out of the southwest. Some of the moisture from what was once tropical storm Imelda might get pulled up into the Midwest. Hopefully the heavier moisture will stay to the south, keeping the threat for heavier showers and thunderstorms across Illinois and Iowa instead of moving into southern Wisconsin. 68 for the overnight low tonight, mild, some patchy fog, just an outside chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Tomorrow's high at 77, and we'll see the better chances for showers and thunderstorms develop in the afternoon. On future track, relatively quiet overnight, maybe a pop-up shower or storm in a couple of spots, lows in the upper 60s. Tomorrow we start to see the better chances of showers and storms arrive later in the afternoon into tomorrow night. And then on Sunday, look for cloud cover and winds shifting to the west to keep temperatures down into the upper 60s to around 70. Again, the heavier showers and thunderstorms, the best chances will be in the southern parts of our viewing area, but still anybody could get caught underneath a heavier shower or storm. We have that alert day in the forecast for Saturday. Then look for a break in the heat and humidity for early next week. Temperatures will be in the lower 70s to start the week, upper 60s by Thursday, and some more shower and thunderstorm chances by next weekend. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, there's the view on the Beltline at Stoughton Road. Traffic moving pretty steadily in and out of the Beltline there. That's right as we get close to the interstate. It looks like an accident might have just popped up right at the Beltline interchange with I-3990. Otherwise, we're seeing some delays right now eastbound on the Beltline from Monona Drive back to west of Verona Road. Westbound delays from around Fish Hatchery Road to John Nolan Drive. Right now, almost a half-hour trip on the eastbound Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate. 21 minutes going back in the westbound direction. It's 28 minutes down to Janesville on I-3990 from the Beltline. 23 minutes to Sauk City on US 12 from Middleton. And 16 minutes to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue, US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert traffic.
All right, thank you, Gary.
Next at 5, a new worldwide dementia report shows a majority of patients feel neglected by the professionals who are supposed to care for them. We'll have that story next. Stay with us. Right now, more than 110,000 people are living with Alzheimer's in Wisconsin alone, and a new worldwide study reveals some surprising misconceptions about the disease.
As Cindy Palm reports from London, researchers hope their findings will lead to better treatment.
Chris Maddox was diagnosed with early onset dementia 3 years ago after several strokes.
One day I got up, I couldn't remember how to get dressed. And another time I was showering and I turned the shower off halfway through.
The 63-year-old from Britain says to make matters worse, she felt her doctors and nurses ignored her concerns.
They just dismissed me as though I was just making these things up.
Chris's experience reflects the findings of a new worldwide report that shows about 50% of people living with dementia feel neglected by healthcare professionals.
This is a massive problem. You know, we have 52 million people in the world living with dementia. One person is developing dementia every 3 seconds.
Researchers from Alzheimer's Disease International carried out the study. They surveyed 70,000 people across 155 countries. They found 2 out of 3 think dementia is a normal part of aging rather than a medical condition. And 62% of healthcare workers also believe it's a natural outcome of growing old.
And let's be clear about this. Dementia is not part of normal aging. Dementia is a disease.
Chris says she's trying to educate others by telling her story at medical conferences across Europe.
So I've gone from feeling useless to useful and gone from feeling hopeless to hopeful because I realize that there are still things that I can do.
Experts say shame about the disease stops many people from reaching out for help that could improve their lives. Cindy Palm, CBS News, London.
While there is no cure for dementia, health experts say staying healthy, learning new hobbies, and solving crossword puzzles may help stave off the disease.
Stay with us. We'll have another check of your weekend forecast in just a moment.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, breaking news from the scene of a deadly tour bus crash in Utah. My exclusive interview with a whistleblower who says his climate change testimony was suppressed by the White House. And Steve Hartman's on the road with a school bus driver who pulls out all the stops for this little girl. Those stories and more tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And it's a football Friday, a big one tonight. Prep Mania High School football game of the week at Sun Prairie. The visiting Verona Wildcats taking on the Cardinals. It is the halfway point now, the high school football regular season. Jay Wilson, Bill Brophy, Al Minert. They'll bring you the game live tonight, 7 o'clock, Channel 3000. We'll have 2 other games live as well. DeForest at Sauk Prairie, Edgewood at Stoughton tonight starting at 7. Again, channel3000.com.
Good night tonight for football weather?
For the most part, there's one thunderstorm over the southern portion of Rock County, and of course, you know, thunderstorms would play havoc with any football game, but right now it's just very isolated. Temperatures, though, are pretty warm. Lower 80s, the players are not going to like that, and dew point temperatures in the lower 70s. Heat index right now feels like between about 85 and 90.
Wow. All right, Gary, thank you. Thanks for joining us at 5. We'll be back in 30 minutes with more updates. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.